Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about some useful talents and what to swap in and out depending on what you're facing or what you're going to do. So first off, you will have the level 30 tier. On this tier, you have your major heal cooldowns. The most useful ones are going to be Ysera's Gift and Cenarion Ward. These you want to swap in and out depending on who you're going to face or who you're going to duel. Overall, Ysera's Gift is going to be really good because it won't use up your mana, but it provides much less burst healing than Cenarion Ward, especially if you use Cenarion Ward with your level 90 talent called Heart of the Wild. Cenarion Ward is going to be really good against classes that do a lot of damage in a small window of time, like warriors, monks, destruction warlocks, shamans. For longer fights, Ysera's Gift is going to be better. The only downside to using Cenarion Ward is that it will eat your mana real fast, especially if you're going to be using it to heal basically on cooldown. The level 45 tier is going to have really interesting options. Typhoon is probably the most fun of them all, and it's overall very useful too. Then if you're going to be focusing one target that can kite a lot and is going to be running away from you a lot, then Fairy Swarm is probably going to be your best bet. The slow from Fairy Swarm will stack with your mangles or your shreds that put up infected wounds, so the slow is really insane. This is also really good when you have a partner that needs to kite and you can provide a lot of slow. The other option is Mass Entanglement. This is going to be great against hunters as a means to control the stampede if nobody else in your team can do it. Coming back to Typhoon, the best thing about it is that it will daze your opponent, so that's a very high slow that nobody can remove, not even ferals. So you might want to use that on certain circumstances, and it's also good to push people over ledges. It's very useful in RPGs mostly. The level 60 tier. This is probably the most controversial one of them all. In PvP, I really like the Force of Nature against warriors and those pesky classes that will kite you forever or that will do so much damage in their major cooldowns that you have to find a way to control it. There is also Incarnation. Incarnation is insane. It will allow you to stun with no cooldown. It will allow you to go stealth, to do a massive amount of damage by Ravage spamming. It's really useful, and I use it a lot against classes that will be immune to roots, like Paladins and stuff like that. The other talent in this tier is Soul of the Forest. Now, this talent is overlooked by many PvPers, but it's actually really good when you're going to be target swapping a lot. I really like it in RPGs too. It's really great when you have a partner that will do a massive hard swap and will blast people like mages and stuff like that. So you might want to try it out and see if it works well with your partner, with the composition you're running. The CC tier. Now, this tier has a lot of ups and downs, some good and bad stuff. Disorienting Roar is going to be really good, so you can land Cyclones right after it, and I'll show you in a little bit how you can do that. But the bad thing is whoever you have your bleeds on is going to be basically immune to it. So in threes, I've found it's probably the best, but I also run with a lot of people that stun, so that's probably the reason. You will have to test it out, see if you like it, but I'll show you a few things you can do with it. There is also Mighty Bash. This is awesome in 2v2. It's probably king. This is really good because it's an additional stun that doesn't require any combo points. And if you want to have a focus macro, you can check out my other video. The other option you have in this tier is gonna be Vortex. This is really good for boomkins, and it has some uses for you in the lower ratings, like you can Vortex the enemies into a Blade Storm and stuff like that. I'll also show you some uses of that further ahead. Now the last tier. This tier has really interesting options. The first one is going to be Heart of the Wild. The text is really long, so I'm not going to go over it. Basically, you will heal real hard while it's up, and the best thing about it is you will have 6% agility and stamina, which converts to health, which is great with Ysera's gift, and it also will make your heals be insane. The second option is Dream of Cenarius. This talent I've really grown fond of. It will make your heals, your healing touch specifically, be buffed. So the good thing about it is your healing touch is always going to heal the same as if you were using Heart of the Wild. And it will also give you the ability to do a little bit more burst damage on certain points of the fight, on certain situations, if you learn to time it right. It's really good for long fights especially, and it will give a lot of durability to you and your party members. The last option is going to be Nature's Vigil. So this talent will give you the most burst possible, and it will also heal you a little bit while you're in it. I found it to be not awesome, but it's good against certain classes like Death Knights. They will be nerfing your heals most of the time, and it's also really good in duels because most duels don't last long anyway. But I don't know. I'm not a great fan of it. I used to use it a lot, and now I find the other two a little bit more useful. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you how you can use these talents in very useful ways. I hope you find some tricks really interesting, and yeah, mostly I'm gonna be doing some arenas with the Boomkin just to show you how bad the comp can be and still score kills and set up stuff. So this is BCK out. Love you, peace.